What motivated you to get involved with Man Academy?
Well, I moved down to Seaford, down to the south coast from London just over a year ago, and was kind of very aware that I was moving away from my community and my friendship circle and my family. So there was, definitely feeling of being a little bit isolated, even though it was what I wanted. So I was looking to connect with some people and just meet people and have a social space, so that I didn't kind of isolate myself. And I suppose the secondary thing was just that I'd been going through a difficult time, an illness in my quite a large effect on me, and I wanted to find somewhere that I could go just to offload really and get things off my chest and just say things as they were. Non-judgmental space really. I heard about the group and the Man Academy and thought, yeah, that kind of sounds like the right thing for me. So yeah, gave it a go and I'm happy I did.
Thank you. And so, in what ways do you feel you've benefited and or grown?
I've benefited really mostly just from having the knowledge as I go through my week or my fortnight that I can almost save up some of the stuff that I've got bubbling under the surface, and I think I had a feeling that I had nowhere to put those feelings. They were just there, bubbling under the surface with nowhere to go, and keeping those feelings in and not letting them out is no good for anybody. So I've benefited from knowing that every 2 weeks I have a space where I can go and I can just kind of get it out, and I know that people will listen and not be judgmental and yeah, just let me kind of have my moments to just to let things out. And I've grown in terms of gaining more of an understanding of my own self, what's within myself, and why I sometimes feel the way that I do. When you do that self exploration, you discover things about yourself and things that trigger you and things that upset you, and you start to work out why things upset you. And when you know why, it makes it easier to cope. So benefited definitely in those ways.
Great, thank you. In a sentence or two, what would you say to a man who's interested in personal growth about Man Academy and what it's done for you?
I would say that personal growth is a personal thing, but that doesn't mean that it's something you have to do in isolation. And in fact, it's better to go somewhere where there are other people that are trying to do the same thing as you, who are in that same kind of mindset, where they also want to grow and improve themselves and learn about themselves and just get better, just be better people. And I would encourage anyone to give it a go, really, because it is exactly that kind of environment that you need to grow and to be held accountable as well for the things that you want to do in your life. And I would thoroughly recommend anybody to come along and try.
What surprised you the most or made you the most happy about the work?
I was surprised by I suppose the right word would be the diversity of people that were at the group. I had in my mind, I imagined that it might be a group of people that are maybe one demographic, or a group of people that maybe had, my how can I explain it? My my vision of the group before I went was that it was going to be kind of a load of hippies sitting around in a circle, kind of by hour and meditating for an hour and a half before we start talking, all that kind of thing. And I was a bit worried that I wasn't really going to fit in, because that's not really my vibe. So I was quite sort of surprised at just how, you know, there were people there that were like me, just kind of people just trying to get by in life, and it was a lot more genuine and authentic than I thought it was going to be. I was a little bit, I was surprised by that, because initially when I first came, I had expected it to be, you know, I was willing to give it a go, but I didn't really expect it to be my kind of thing. But that's what surprised me, just that genuine kind of feeling around the group, where it was just kind of like a bunch of normal guys, all from, you know, different backgrounds, and, you know, having their own experiences and sharing those with each other.
Thank you. And what challenges with growing and evolving do you see on the horizon for every man who's into growth? And how do you see the Man Academy helping with that?
I think that the challenges are the same as they've ever been, because it's not something new. Evolving, we've had this, I think, this ingrained, conditioned mindset among men for so many generations. For I think it's difficult for men, maybe as fathers, to raise their boys to be they were brought up, because even if you're conscious of those kind of toxic mindsets that you've been conditioned with, it's still really hard not to reproduce them in your own offspring, I think. And so the Man Academy has a function where I think it can give men a space to explore those things, where perhaps within the family unit there might not be so much of an opportunity to do that, or you know, on the playground growing up, or even just out in the workplace or in the pub or wherever you go. There's always an element of, even subconsciously, living up to certain stereotypes that we expect of men. So we need things like Man Academy, because it gives us a space to go where we can drop the mask, and we don't have to be, you know, that kind of alpha male, sort of dominant, you know, lone wolf kind of personality that we're so often told that we should be, whether that be subliminally or directly by so much of what we see in society. And that's where I think Man Academy has a really important role.